see dead beer brands.
In your dreams? While you're awake?
They don't know they're dead.
Some things money can't buy, and it looks like loyalty to your fans and to your paying customers is something that no matter how much money you spend when you light it on fire and destroy it, well, it'll never come back. At least tens of millions of fans will never come back to Bud Light, as Bud Light lost the crown as the best-selling Super Bowl beer. Corona taking the top spot as Dylan Mulvaney boycott continues. In spite of the UFC partnership that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, in spite of Donald Trump saying, okay, hold on, lay off. Like, in spite of all of it, at least 30% of the customers have just not returned to Bud Light and never, ever will, ladies and gentlemen. Sales of the beer are still 30% below where they were last year, before its tie-up with influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Called a tie-up. It's not a tie-up. It's a brand suicide. The Blighted brand was the official Super Bowl brand of beer and ran intermission ads, but still sold fewer beers than Corona. Ladies and gentlemen, Bud Light will never recover. It's lost $30 billion with this. The greatest marketing and advertising mistake ever. And it is actually kind of amazing. It is a beautiful anniversary, the Super Bowl, because it is the Super Bowl that actually launched Dylan Mulvaney as a Bud Light ambassador. So ironic. And so Bud Light did everything they possibly could this Super Bowl to try and delete and whitewash and whatever little thing they have at the Men in Black, the little light thing, like to zap your brain and to get the images of Dylan Mulvaney gyrating and dancing inside of a soapy bathtub with a Bud Light out of your brain. They put Peyton Manning and Dana White and T-Rexes and Post Malone and everybody that polled to be the exact opposite of Dylan Mulvaney in an ad, but it still didn't fix it. They spent $7 million on the spot, but hundreds of millions of dollars on the actual partnership, right? And, well, it didn't work, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the breakdown of what Bud Light was trying to do during the Super Bowl. Will you ever return as a customer to Bud Light? Or will you, like me, always, if you ever reach for a can of Bud Light or see a can of Bud Light, think that image right there on screen, this image right there, that is what Bud Light represents now and forever. That's kind of where I am, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what Bud Light did during the Super Bowl. Go.
Are you?
The Bud Light genie? Yeah.
So we get wishes? It's my thing. Gimme.
80s metal hair.
Yes.
Filthy rich.
So filthy.
Invisible?
Predictable.
Giant bicep.
Big one.
A sweet ride.
What's next?
Bud Lights? I wish Peyton Manning was my best friend.
Aw.
How we doing?
Hey.
Oh, Post Malone.
Hey.
I'm a genie.
Gemini.
I'm a genie.
Well, look at you. Nope.
He's gonna need another bicep. House party.
Definitely.
Let's go to Super Bowl 58.
We wish for a T-Rex.
Guilty.
Now we're talking.
So how much possible, like, please like us energy can you pump into a single ad? Now, all of you know that I haven't had a sip of Bud Light. I don't plan on it, quite frankly. I've said publicly, apologize. Apologize to your customers. Start the healing. Put Donald Trump on a can. I'll go buy it, actually. You put Donald Trump on a can, okay. And then you apologize. That'll begin the healing. They've all but done it here. They're literally nibbling right around the edges. But let me say this as just a simple independent arbiter and somebody who's been following this from the get. They're trying. What you saw there is the absolute polar opposite, truly, culturally, a pivot in 181 degrees from this. It is as different as you can possibly get in our current cultural landscape. with the exception of including Kid Rock and Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson in the ad. But they have Dana White in the ad. So, I mean, like, they're almost there. I mean, this is Dana White walking in with Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, and Don Jr., along with Kid Rock, into the UFC. You can see the cheering. You can hear the cheering. Ladies and gentlemen, like, you don't get any different. What I also find relatively fascinating is that this is also a correction on the correction. Okay? I try as hard as I can not to be a sucker for psyops or like glossy ad campaigns, but yo, this is a correction on the correction. They had already a reboot and it didn't go well. Mr. Pfizer was using the reboot. Mr. Travis Kelce, Mr. Servant of the Regime, Mr. Kneeling for the National Anthem, scumbag, Pfizer boy, was brought in by Bud Light as like a safe option for all the people inside of Madison Avenue who need a safe athlete, but someone who's a little edgy. Yeah, it didn't go great. This is what they produced. Okay, so their customers are fat slobs who can't get up out of chairs. Great job, Bud Light. Yeah, we heard you loud and clear. We heard Alyssa Heinerscheid say that the Bud Light customers were out of touch and fratty. So they tried to go out of touch and fratty with Travis Kelce. They even paid the Kelce brothers to drink Bud Lights at a game. Look at this. This is the World Series. They paid these guys to like sit there. Look at the Bud Light conspicuously in the shot. Yeah, that's not doing it though. They were called desperate for this and saying like, this is a humiliation. Their first ad out of the gate after the Mulvaney meltdown was this, also equally calling their customers complete effing r***ards. Here we go. Here's the Bud Light ad. We don't wear shoes on hot surfaces. We don't know how to carry stuff. We don't know how to shut fridges. We don't know how to get suntans. We don't know how to paddleboard. Our customers are idiots. We don't know how to walk through doors. Our dogs are smarter than us. Oh, we drink Bud Light. We don't know how to like take cover in a tornado. We don't know how to use a hammock. I'm We don't know how to shoot basketballs. We don't know how to tap a keg. We don't know how to catch things. I'm stupid. I should wear a helmet. But I'm wearing a hat. Here I am. I'm a fat white guy. Fat old white guy on a cooler. This was their first attempt. Look at this. When was the last time you saw a guy? When was the last time you saw a guy that looked like this at the front of an ad? This shows that the desperation was creeping in. And ladies and gentlemen, now we've officially gotten there. So Bud Light's also produced ads like this with Peyton Manning, obviously, like, you know, Peyton Manning. They've done all the, they have enough money to do all the tests and find that like Peyton Manning has never gone political. Peyton Manning is probably well liked by both sides, presumably, because he's just stayed totally analogous and androgynous in his politics. And so they've gone after guys like Peyton Manning. Expect like a Tom Brady possibly to be in there. Tom Brady has worn MAGA hats. That's pretty interesting. But this is where they're going. They came up with like a couple names: Post Malone, Dana White, Peyton Manning, which is quite fascinating. Now, Dana White, of course, they have paid hundreds of millions of dollars to. Bud Light signs partnership with UFC worth hundreds of millions. Our core values align, said Dana White. Well, the core values of Bud Light should be to potentially not lose billions of dollars every single year, which is exactly what happened. So the desperation is officially here. The Super Bowl comeback launch has happened. That is the commercial, but it's not the final commercial. The Beleaguered beer brand will air a 60-second commercial at the cost of $14 million. So get ready. Get ready. By the way, they're still shutting down all comments on their social media, so you can't comment anymore. Something that I wasn't counting on, but something that did happen, and you can let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Donald Trump calls on the Bud Light boycott to be over. Now, what does this say? I'll just do a real quick snapshot on this. What this means is we have power. All this does is it's just like a through line into how much power we actually have. If Donald Trump has to roll through and like call for the end of the boycott, like how powerful are we? Says it has paid the price for partnership with Mulvaney, and parent company Anheuser-Busch is a great American brand that deserves a second chance, not actually an American brand. That is incorrect. Bud Light ad was a mistake of epic proportions. Very big price was paid. Anheuser-Busch is not a woke company. I can give you plenty that are. I'm building a list and might just release it to the world to see. Why not? The radical left does it viciously. Conservative companies and people. Very nasty. But it's the way that they play the game. On the other hand, Anheuser-Busch spends $700 million a year on our great farmers, employs 65,000 Americans. It's a lot, actually. And of which 1,500 are veterans. Founding corporate partner of Folds of Honor and provides scholarship and so forth. So this is what Trump says. Anheuser-Busch is a great American brand. Deserves a second chance? What do you think? Perhaps instead we should be going after the companies that are looking to destroy America. There's truth in that, Truth Social, that Donald Trump posted. But I remain, ladies and gentlemen, firmly in the boycott camp. Doesn't really matter to me. Partners with Dana White, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. Okay? I can't be influenced out of it because it was never about influence from the right telling me what to do. That was the game in the first place. The reason why I remain boycotting Bud Light, ladies and gentlemen, is because now it's time for me to influence them. It's time for us to influence corporate America and to make this so painful, so harsh, so savage, so cutthroat, and potentially end the company that they will never, ever do this again. So it was never about Trump, necessarily. It was about Dana White or the UFC. It was only ever about us proving a point and taking a scalp. And therefore, I don't think my point's thoroughly been made because there are still ESG, DEI, and all these companies. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I continue my boycott. And I encourage you to do so as well. It's your boy, Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.